Welcome to the Automaticist. Hello, so just a quick little video today. So, with the Apple event that has just happened today, we got a new iMac introduced. Now, it isn't available yet. It'll be, you can order it at the end of this month if you're watching this when it has been uploaded, and it will be available in the second half of May, as the website says right here. Obviously, if you're watching this in the far future, then this is the iMac that has been introduced in early 2021, the variant which comes in 7 colors, and these are the original specs. But obviously, I am making this video in the present. So, the question I'm going to attempt to answer is, do you need a new computer? Because yes, this is very nice to have. It's, shiny and colorful. When you get it, obviously after about 2 seconds, it's going to be not quite so new. So that is definitely something to think of there. And I just need to check my recording. But obviously, after just a little bit, it is going to be not so nice and new. Now, it will stay cleaner for longer than, for instance, a MacBook Pro would, but that is simply due to the fact that it is a desktop. So we can actually see that this is the 24-inch iMac with an M1 processor. That's the same processor in the MacBook Pro, MacBook Air, and Mac Mini at this point. So everything is getting the same processor, regardless of whether it's a laptop or desktop. Once again, it's available in 7 colors. There's the darker colors, more vibrant on the back, which you're not really gonna see, and then there's the lighter colors on the front. So this is almost like a baby blue on the front. And we can look at the green. This calls it pink, but on the back it's very much red. So it's sort of like when the iPhone 6s had a pink color. You can see the silver. This is what the schools are going to be buying, silver. They're not going to buy all the different colors. This is the yellow, the orange, which almost looks like a salmon color. Kind of almost looks like back when the iPhone 5S had its pink. So there's a couple different, these are very similar. It's like a darker red, and that's like a lighter red. So it's just barely into the orange. And then purple, which is a nice dark purple on the back, but then this much lighter lilac up front, of course. And then we've got a magnetic power cable. Got showing the thickness, which is not that thick at all, of course. Showing that it has, the M1, and just generally showing the features. You can't actually get like a duotone. Like if you're looking at this and thinking, "Oh man, I can get a blue and orange." No, you can't. Only the higher end ones actually have the 4 ports, so the 2 ports is really just for more basic stuff. And we have all of these advertised features. You just keep scrolling, new speakers. And the thing is, there's a lot of things that this is great for, and there's a lot of things that it can do. But what I want to bring to your attention is, this is, of course, a Mac, so it's going to be a premium product. And the thing is, it's gotten to the point where computers can last a lot longer than previously. So, for instance, I have an older iMac. I have a 2009 to mid 2009. So it was originally in the education sector. And that iMac has 4 gigs of RAM, which we might say, oh, that's not enough in 2021, but the reality is, if you're just trying to do like light web browsing, like let's say that what you use a computer for is you have your email and you watch YouTube, you know, you watch my channel, which would be great, and maybe you do a little bit of light gaming. Maybe you play Minecraft like I do. Or maybe you play chess on chess.com, something like that. It's really just a matter of being able to run a modern web browser with JavaScript. And what's funny is my iMac can do that perfectly well despite being over 10 years old. It doesn't run the latest version of Safari, or it definitely doesn't run the latest version of Safari, but it definitely also doesn't run the latest version of Firefox, which is what I use, but it does run the latest version of Google Chrome, which is by far the most popular web browser, so that is definitely something to consider, is that it can do all those things on 4 gigs of RAM. Minecraft runs acceptably. I mean, if I was trying to play competitively, maybe not, but that is definitely something to consider. And of course, now we have like the M1 iPad Pro. That's way past what a tablet needs to do from what I've heard. I don't even have a tablet. I don't have any use for a tablet, so I can't really comment on that too much. But what I do know is that I'm not really sure that the majority of people will be needing something this powerful. Now, 10 years ago, or even more than 10 years ago, when my iMac was new in 2009, a 10-year-old computer was probably, getting to the end of its life. Let's see. I have a computer that would have been 10 years old when my 2009 iMac was new, and it's actually also an iMac. It's an iMac G3, and that computer was already well out of support by that point in time. I think it might have still done okay on some websites, because there were some websites at that point that were still pretty basic, but just in terms of what it could do compared to what that can do, there's really no comparison. Computers haven't been getting as much faster year over year as they were for a very long time. And I think one of the things about that is we've sort of reached the thermal limits of what a computer can reasonably do. Our modern desktop processors, at least the ones that are made by Intel and AMD, and not the M1, demand really large coolers, really fast spinning fans, and that's sort of the limit of how fast computers can be. We sort of have to make them more efficient if we want to make them faster. So while these new Macs are very great, very fast, there's just if you're trying to do like advanced video editing, or in this case that's music production, you're gonna want the fastest computer that you can afford, right? That makes sense. You're gonna want to have an up-to-date thing. Or if you're developing, you want to be able to develop for the latest and greatest because people are gonna have it. But I think that for the general consumer, if your goal is to maybe get on a Zoom call daily or more than daily, or whatever else, you need a nice big good looking screen. Screens have been well past the point of very good for a very long time, and I know that from experience. And so we have this, and they're adding in all these little things that don't ultimately make a ton of difference. And if you're in one of those fields where you need your computer to be as fast as it can, and you are waiting for the iMac Pro. So I don't really know who this 24-inch iMac is for. Maybe if your computer is so old that you need to get a new computer, now's the time. This is a very good computer. But I would say that for most people, it's probably not going to be worth the money that they're asking, simply because it's not like it's 3 times faster than the previous years, although there wasn't exactly a previous year's computer. There hasn't been a new iMac in a while, so from that perspective maybe it's good. But even if you have a 2013 iMac or equivalent performance wise, it's still probably pretty good. So no, you're not going to have like all of this stuff. The only thing I would say is that this is going to get support for a long time. Of course, it is going to get the latest operating system, and with that security, for a long time to come. But of course, that is going to be true of any computer that you might have. So just stick with what you have for as long as you can. And my general advice would be, upgrade your computer when the things that you do frequently start to get annoyingly slow. When you get annoyed at the speed of your computer, or when it can't run the newest operating system, and the operating system that it can run is too many versions out of date to the point where it's not secure anymore. Those are really the grounds when I would say that you need to upgrade your computer. So if you're at that point now, this is a great computer. It looks like it's going to be very fast. It has that M1. It's going to have 2 fans. So it's actually going to probably rival this computer in terms of performance, which is a very nice MacBook Pro. And it's unfortunate that it's already almost outclassed by something much cheaper. But once again, the computer that I'm using is still perfectly good despite being 2 years old at this point, whereas it used to be that you needed to replace your computer every 3 years. Now that is definitely not the case. So that is my take on the new iMac. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.